Good morning, friends. I am Mr. Eman Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Yashwantrao Chauhan Varana Mahavidyalaya, Varanagar. Today we are going to study the tissue system, and during the study of this tissue system, in higher plants there is a definite division of labor. That means, as like the industry, there are various types of labor, and each of labor having different functions, different works. Like that, higher plants has definite division of labor. Number of tissues comes together to form the same function. Tissues are placed in different regions of plants carrying out similar physiological function, form a system called as tissue system. That means here there are different types of tissue and they are placed in different regions and carrying a similar physiological function. And such tissue system, which is main in the plants, Sachs 1875 recognized three basic systems, that is dermal or epidermal tissue system, which is the outermost and protective in function. Second, ground or fundamental tissue system, that is located between epidermal and conducting system, and this system that gives a support and rigidity to the higher plants. Third, that is the conducting or vascular tissue system. It is the central complete cylinder and that is used for conduction and transport of food material. Now Herberland classified 12 different systems, including three important systems as epidermal tissue system, shortly ETS. Second, mechanical tissue system, that is MTS. And third, secretory tissue system, that is STS. Now first we are going to study that is the epidermal tissue system. That is the epidermal tissue system, it is also known as the dermal tissue system, and that system which consists of, that is outermost covering of all plant organs like young roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits and seeds. That is, it covers the whole plant organs. This layer is in direct contact with the external environment. It is protective in function to the internal tissue and form from transportation and mechanical injury. That means at any type of mechanical injury, that time it covers that injury, so it is protective in function. Now epidermal tissue system is made up of epidermis, stomata and various outgrowths of the epidermal cells. Now in that first, that is the epidermis. That is the epidermis is the outermost layer of the plant organs, which may be single layered or many layered or doubled. In that epidermis, first we are going to study that is the epidermal cells. Living cells of various shapes, size and arrangement, that is the epidermal cells. It may continuous or discontinuous. That means they show a continuous layer, or sometimes it is discontinuous due to presence of different types of the outgrowths or the openings, that is the stomata. It may be interrupted by small pores, that is called as the stomata. The cells are tubular, that is the epidermal cells which are tubular in shape, sometimes isodiametric, hexagonal, elongated or rarely spherical. These are compactly arranged without intercellular spaces. That means they are arranged compactly. There is no space, so they are without intercellular spaces. They have unevenly thickened cell wall. Now, that is, the chloroplast is absent in epidermal cells. These are protective in function, so there is complete absence of the chloroplast. Sometimes chloroplast may be present, for example, in case of hydrilla. That is, hydrilla, it is a hydrophytic plant which is itself present in the plant, in the water. So, in the epidermal cells, there is also presence of the chloroplast. Anthocyanin pigments, as in petiole of castor, or there may be deposition of silica, as in case of equisetum. Now, see this figure. That is a cross section of the typical leaf where there is the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. The upper epidermis, which is continuous layer, lower epidermis, it is discontinuous due to presence of stomata. The upper and lower epidermis is cuticularized. That means there is presence of the cuticle. Now, in between these two, upper and lower epidermis, there is a palisade and spongy cells, palisade layer and spongy layers, where they are distinctly separated as the palisade cells are elongated in shape and the spongy cells, they are irregular or globular in shape. The palisade and spongy cells, they are with chloroplast, but here in upper epidermal and lower epidermal layer, there is complete absence of the chloroplast. Now, second, that is the bulliform cells or the motor cells. These are called as the bulliform, that is the balloon-like or bubble-like cells. Sometimes they are also called as the motor cells. The leaves of monocots, that means mostly these bulliform cells, they are present in the monocots. The leaves of monocots comparatively larger, highly vacuolated and thin wall cells in the epidermis, which are called as the bulliform cells. Now, these bulliform cells, which are present anywhere in the epidermis, that means they are present on the both sides of the leaf, in the both layers of the epidermis, that is the upper and lower epidermis. They contain water with no chlorophyll. That means they are considered to be the storage of water storage cells without a chloroplast. Cells are thin, but outer walls are thick walled and cutinized. Then what is the role of this bulliform cell or the motor cells? That is, these motor cells or the bulliform cells, they play important role in the rolling of the leaves. During dry weather, they lose water and contracts. As there is presence of the water content in the bulliform cells or the motor cells, when they lose the water, they contract. Contraction of water motor cell at interval of the leaf surface causing rolling that reduce loss of water. Now, if you see the figure here at the center, there is presence of the bulliform cells, which are quite larger cells, thin wall, and they are full of water without chloroplast. Now, and these are present mainly in the grooves of veins. Now, this is the enlarged portion of the bulliform cells, where the cells are quite larger and they are without chloroplast. These are mainly present in the ventlets. Now, next, that is multiple epidermis or the multiserrate epidermis. First, we have seen that is the epidermis. Second, that is the motor cells or the multiform cells. And third, that is the multiple epidermis or multiserrate epidermis. What is meant by multiple epidermis? That is the epidermis which is made up of 3 to 5 layers of cells. These are originated from the protoderm by periclinal division. The outermost layer is similar to uniserrate epidermis. If you see the single layer epidermis, it is just like the single layered epidermis. The outermost layer of this multiple epidermis is similar to that uniserrate epidermis. Inner layer are without chlorophyll, but the outer layers are with chlorophyll and inner layers are without chlorophyll. Then what is the role of the epidermis? That is, it prevents heating of leaves and reduce rate of transpiration. That means here these cells or these epidermal cells, which are the multiple epidermis, that prevents heating of leaves and also reduce the rate of transpiration. As in case of the orchids, velamen tissue, which are present in aerial roots, which are regarded as multiple epidermis, and these cells are modified for absorption of moisture. That means here the multiple epidermis, they have different functions, but most important function is it prevents the heating of leaves and reduce the rate of transpiration and also for absorption of moisture. Thank you.